An update on the coronavirus and how it is affecting school operations.
And Lime scooters are returning to a city near you. Murrow News 8 starts now.
West Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Jane McDonald.
And I'm Sophia Canton. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
The coronavirus is starting to affect WSU. The 45th Murrow Symposium, which is a large networking event for students at the Edward R. Murrow College of Communication, is postponed. Now, this is because concerns are surrounding the coronavirus. Murrow News 8 reporter Ariel Yakabazi is joining us live with more on the story. Ariel?
Thanks, Jane. So I'm outside of Gertsen Hall, and this is a very big spot for alumni to come during the Murrow Symposium. So to give you a little bit of background information for those of you who do not know, the 45th Murrow Symposium, or any Murrow Symposium for that matter, is a huge networking event for Murrow students. It's where they can meet people from the field and alumni in the field, and it's really a great learning experience for students. But due to COVID-19 concerns, there has been a postponing of the event. I did speak to Murrow Dean Bruce Pinkleton this morning, and here's what he had to say about the issues regarding the event.
Symposium is sort of on the leading edge of a number of WSU events. So if you take a look at what typically happens in spring, starting sort of immediately before and after spring break, there's a whole bunch of end of the semester events that take place. And it seemed to me that we were sort of the first major event taking place of a number of these events that are going to be occurring through the end of the semester. So we were really, in my mind, we need to be responsible in making that decision, basically. And we're kind of in terms of where some other colleges on campus and some of the decision making taking place. But that was really the process that we went through as we began to kind of work on all this. And then it was really a matter of communicating messages out to the public in a reasonable fashion.
Live in Pullman, I'm Ariel Yakabazi with Murrow News 8. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Ariel. Now, the Murrow Symposium is not the only thing being affected by COVID-19. The WSU Everett campus has closed immediately until Monday. The campus is closed for a deep cleaning in response to the growing number of COVID-19 cases in Washington. Any classes that would have been held today will be held using other methods.
The University of Washington will not have classes on campus starting Monday. According to King 5, the announcement comes after a staff member tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. UW will be holding classes online starting Monday. A UW professor told Murrow News 8 exams will be held remotely as finals week is coming up. King 5 also reported that if a class can't be held remotely, teachers are allowed to submit grades now.
The COVID-19 virus continues to make its way closer to Pullman. According to the Daily Evergreen, the director of Whitman County's Department of Public Health, Troy Henderson, said they can expect to see the COVID-19 virus infect young, healthy people in the Pullman area. He believes it will only be a matter of time before the virus gets here because of how quickly it's spreading from group to group. WSU has also started taking preparations against the virus by spreading out an email to teachers, having them review online teaching tools provided to them in case classes have to be online.
According to KREM 2, there is a patient at Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee who is presumed to have the coronavirus and is in critical condition. Testing for the 80-year-old patient from Grant County was done at the University of Washington and is awaiting results at the state's public health lab. The patient didn't report any travel outside of the country, which could mean they may have contracted the virus locally if they test positive for it.
A cruise ship off the coast of California is being ordered to stay at bay after one passenger died and 2 others have been infected with the coronavirus. There are 3,500 people on board, and according to Fox 58, they will not be allowed to dock until the crew members and passengers have been tested and cleared.
14 people have died from the COVID-19 in the Puget Sound region as of this morning. According to NBC News, President Trump signed an $8.3 billion emergency bill to respond to the spread of the virus around the country. According to NBC, about $7.3 billion will be used to combat the coronavirus and $500 million will be used throughout the next decade to establish a remote healthcare plan. The bill passed 96-1 in the Senate and 415-2 in the House after several weeks of negotiations.
The local Idaho legislation delegation will be holding a meeting tomorrow morning. The legislatures will have coffee with the constituents. The meeting will be in Moscow and will run from 9 to 10 a.m. in the Chamber of Commerce Library.
Lime scooters are making their way back to the Spokane streets, starting on March 13th. After a 2-month trial run in fall of 2018, the scooters returned to Spokane last March and were taken away again in November. The return of the Lime scooters comes after a July survey showed that nearly 24% of people use Lime in place of a motor vehicle. Over its time in Spokane, Lime collected $90,000 in fees for the Spokane's wheelchair program. That money will go toward building on-street infrastructures for scooter users and bicyclists, as well as enforcing laws about not riding on sidewalks, no more than one person on a scooter, and underage riding.
Spokane Valley may be increasing the city park land. The city is hoping to pay nearly $2 million for a 45-acre plot of land with the help of the city funds and a grant from the Washington State Recreation Conservation Office. The land includes groves and ponderosas, the access to the Spokane River and northeast Spokane Valley. According to the Spokesman Review, Mayor Ben Wick says that even if the city isn't able to get the grant, it needs to purchase the land before it's turned into a gravel pit or housing.
The Parent Action Team at Moscow Charter School is hosting a community bingo fundraiser tonight from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. The fundraiser will be at the American Legion Cabin on Howard Street in Moscow. There will also be dinner available for purchase from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. There will be live and silent auctions. All money raised will benefit Moscow students and faculty expansion.
The WSU Interdisciplinary Conference of Social Justice will kick off tonight with a free community event in Neal Public Library from 3 to 6 p.m. The event will begin with a screening of the first part of College Behind Bars. A keynote address and Q&A session by WSU Professor Anna Plemons will follow the WSU Social Conference. Now it will continue tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the Chinook.
The Palouse Choral Society will be performing this weekend. Regardless of if you're in Idaho or Washington, the choir may be in your area. They will start their concert at the St. James Episcopal Church here in Pullman and will finish tomorrow in Lewiston, Idaho.
A big marathon run is taking place soon in the local area.
And SEB has a lot of events coming up for WSU students. Find out that and more when Murrow News 8 returns.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. We lose some of the best moments, some that may never repeat,
Come on.
or detach from people around us. Our loved ones grow used to this pattern, but it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. It's never too late to live a full life again. Hear how many of us Vietnam veterans have managed our mental health and reconnected with our families. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
The Student Independent Entertainment Board this month will be highlighting female directors by screening 3 independent films. The movies will be played in the Cub Auditorium every Thursday at 6. Like all SEB movies, these screenings will be free.
SEB is also hosting a spy night for their Up All Night event. Tonight from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. in the Cub L47. There will be some sneaky spy-themed events. SEB will be bringing a bouncy house, escape rooms, catered food, as well as prizes, including AirPod Pros, a Nintendo Switch, and more. The event is free to anyone interested in attending. You can find out more on the WSU SEB Facebook page. The director of Beasley Coliseum, Leo Uddy, told Mirror News 8 that the Beasley event staff and WSU officials are monitoring the COVID-19 virus closely. But as of now, the Macklemore concert is happening as scheduled.
The Palouse Roadrunners are directing the annual Snake River Canyon Half Marathon tomorrow morning at 10. The Snake River Canyon Half Marathon is the first big race of the season for the Quad City area. The SRCHM runs all the way through Wawaree River Road.
Annual maintenance is coming through the Snake River, meaning the lower parts of the river will be closed to the public. According to Pullman Radio News, the closure will last until April 5th.
An update of the post-fall man that shot a police officer on Tuesday. According to KREM 2 News, court records show that the shooter, Thomas Boland, had threatened to kill a group of Jehovah's Witnesses 2 years ago. A member of the church testified that Boland said, quote, "I know where you guys meet, and I'm going to do what they did in Texas." Now, he was referring to the 2017 shooting in a Texas church where 16 people died. After a standoff, Boland was found dead near a handgun.
The first round of the ASWSU presidential debate has finished up, and the candidates look to Sunday as one last chance on the stage. Both tickets met last night to discuss how they would be the best suited to lead underrepresented groups. The Daily Evergreen reports that mental health and the stigma around the coronavirus dominated the conversation. If you'd like a chance to ask a question to the two tickets, the final debate will be this Sunday at 6 p.m. in the Senior Ballroom.
Former Vice President Joe Biden leads the Democratic primary with 637 delegates as of this morning. Senator Bernie Sanders is second with 559 delegates. No other candidate is close to Biden or Sanders, with many ending their campaigns or with very few delegates compared to the frontrunners. There are 1,355 delegates that are declared, and candidates need 1,991 to win the nomination. There are about 2,400 delegates remaining.
Alabama executed Nathaniel Woods on Thursday night, about 3 hours later than scheduled after the U.S. Supreme Court did a last-minute review of the case. According to NBC News, the Supreme Court did not intervene, and neither did Governor Kay Ivey. Woods was pronounced dead at 9:01 p.m. by lethal injection. Woods, who was 43, was convicted for his role in the shootings of 3 Birmingham police officers in 2004. Woods' co-defendant, Carrie Spencer, wrote in a letter from death row that Nathaniel Woods is 100% innocent and does not deserve to be in prison, much less executed. The case also drew attention from celebrities and activists calling for Woods to be released or the case retired.
We have seen some pretty sunny skies and warm weather this week, but can we expect the same for the weekend?
We have more news for you, and Luke Hudson has the weather report when we return.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for 1. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No Employee of the Month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
The oldest pyramid in Egypt is open to the public after years of restoration work. According to CNN, the Djoser Pyramid, which is about 4,700 years old, is made entirely from stone and built from 6 stacked terraces. The structure is 207 feet tall, and according to state news outlet Al Aram, it is the world's oldest monumental stone building.
A recent patrol watching out for jaywalking on campus has reignited a debate about safe ways to cross the street and a lack of marked sidewalks around Greek Row. Murrow News 8 reporter Caitlin Rappel talked to police and students to find out why police are cracking down.
Police Department Sergeant Chris Engel says the reason for increased enforcement of jaywalking is due to an increase in vehicle-pedestrian collisions back in December 2019. 4 of 8 injury collisions in 1 week were due to pedestrians violating crosswalk laws.
Here, I'm fine crossing the street at a marked crosswalk, but the same can't be said for many other corners around Greek Row.
Engel says that the perpendicular points between every intersection are designated crosswalks. Installing additional markings would help drivers be more aware, but that requires approval from the city's engineering division and a funding source.
Yeah, we've been in contact with the Pullman Police Department. It's still early stages, so we're not exactly sure how this is going to be played out, because I know there's a lot of areas on campus that there aren't crosswalks, so it gets kind of confusing what they're expecting from us when certain rows, especially living on Greek Row, certain streets don't have crosswalks.
I'm honestly quite shocked about how they're going to start enforcing this whole jaywalking around the streets of Pullman, because it's quite frustrating, especially living on Greek Row, that there aren't a lot of crosswalks that I can use to get to class or get to other houses on Greek Row. How they're going to enforce all this jaywalking around Greek Row, especially with all the people walking in big groups. Are they really going to ticket every single person, or are they going to single people out?
My advice would be just to do your best to use the crosswalks.
Engel continues on to say better awareness of and compliance with the law from pedestrians and drivers alike will be what allows everyone to safely use the road. Caitlin Rappel, Murrow News 8.
So after these nice days we've had, I've heard it's going to get colder this weekend again. What does it look like, Luke?
Well, Sophia, you're definitely right, but let's take a look at today first. Now, today was definitely cloudy. As you can see, we had a high of 53, dipping down to about 34 tonight. But we're also going to see about an 80% chance of rain tonight, which means it's going to get, obviously wet. So if you're going to be driving or even going out tonight, make sure you bring a coat or something you can keep the rain off of you. Now let's take a look at tomorrow. Now, we do have snow on the forecast, but don't worry, it's only about a ½ inch, which is about the width of your pointer finger. So you can leave the shovel inside, but you definitely want to bring a brush to scrape off your car if you're going to be driving tomorrow, and maybe even leave your wiper blades up tonight to make sure they don't stick to the windshield. Now that snow is going to come about 8 a.m., between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, so you'll definitely want to keep that in mind if you're going to be leaving early in the day. But it's going to get a lot rainier as the day continues. It's going to be rain after 11 a.m. Now, we also see on the state map, if we take a look across the mountains over at Seattle and Olympia, what a surprise, it's raining. It only happens 9 months of the year. Now, they're going to be dipping down to about 30 and 32 for their lows tonight, getting to around freezing. Now, as we look a little bit closer to home in Yakima and the Tri-Cities, they're enjoying some highs today, 57, 59, a lot warmer than we are. Let's take a look closer to home. Above us in Spokane, they're seeing a high of about 45 with a low of 36, and they're also seeing some rain and snow today. Again, Pullman 53 and 34. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. For Saturday, like I said, we'll have rain and snow in the morning. Sunday, something to pay attention to that's not actually part of the weather is daylight saving time. Now we're going to be skipping 1 hour ahead at 2 a.m. on Sunday. So what that means for you is that the sunrise and sunset are both going to be about an hour later, which means we'll have more daylight in the evening. Now you can see we also have sun and continuing on throughout the week. Now let's take a look at what else we have. Sophia, back to you.
Thanks, Luke. We have a lot of WSU sports for you over these next few days.
Lucy Pisano has all the details and you won't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. But it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
What do you call a pig that knows karate?
Pork chop.
So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Welcome back to Murrow News 8. WSU men's basketball played against the University of Arizona last night. The first half was a close game, ending with the Cougs in the lead 31-29. The Wildcats then came out in the second half, dominating behind the arc, scoring 9 out of 18 three-pointers. Arizona powered through and won the game 83-63 against the Cougs. The Cougs hope to get a win tomorrow when they play Arizona State University. The women's basketball 2020 Pac-12 conference tournament started yesterday. The Cougars played against the Oregon State Beavers. The Cougs hit 10 three-pointers and were 50% behind the arc. Sadly, they did not come out victorious. The final score of the game was 82-55. Yesterday's baseball home opener was one to see. WSU played against Niagara and won 16-7. The Cougs started the first inning by scoring 12 runs. Justin Vandebrake hit a grand slam and had 7 runs, including 6 in the first inning. Leading scorer for the Cougs was Brady Hill. He had 4 hits, scored 3 times, and stole a base while hitting in the leadoff spot for the first time. This week, WSU tennis plays against Colorado today at 1:30. Then on Sunday, the Cougs will host Utah at 10 a.m. The Cougs are ranked 39, while Colorado is unranked, and Utah is ranked 44. Make sure to come out today to get a free chicken sandwich from Zoo Crew at the match. Steph Curry returned to the floor last night against the Toronto Raptors. Curry injured his hand at the end of October and was out for 4 months. The Warriors lost 121-113, but fought throughout the game. Curry scored 23 points and scored some amazing three-pointers to close out his return to the Chase Center. That's all I have for you guys at sports. Back to you at the desk. We have information on that free movie that will be showing right here on campus.
And a few tips for how to stay healthy when Murrow News 8 returns.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Cougs, it's time to take all of that stress and just let it go, because Frozen 2 will be playing at the Cub. The movie will be playing tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Here's a quick look at all the times it'll be playing this weekend. All showings will be free and popcorn will be served.
With all of the concern going around about the coronavirus, we just want to make sure to give everyone some safety tips going into the weekend. Be sure to wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, avoid close contact with people who are sick, cover your cough, avoid touching any part of your face, clean and sanitize any surfaces that are touched frequently, stay home if you are sick except to see a doctor, and be sure to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with warm water. Going into the weekend, also be cautious about attending any large events and be aware of the people around you. Try and stay healthy, WSU.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was always taught you do the ABCs at least twice before you rinse off and dry off.
Yeah, I mean, I always tend to just count, but I feel like that is
I like
a quick
letters,
little
what
trick.
can I say?
That's fair.
Yeah, one other tip that I know that people forget is to wash underneath your fingernails and around your fingers. There's a lot more surface area there, and when stuff gets trapped under there, it can be really bad. So make sure you scrub the tips of your fingers too.
And like between your fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, the webs. Yeah. The webs. Yeah,
I always
that's
kind
right.
of go like, yeah, just to make sure. Thank you for watching tonight. Be sure to watch our newscasts at nwpb.org/mn8 and on Cable 8 at 7 and 10.
And don't forget, you can also follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Have a good night.